What is up, gente? What is up, people? What is up? I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. I hope you guys are having a beautiful night if you're watching this and you're rolling under the moonlight and the stars are out. And I hope you guys are getting them 5,000 miles. Maybe I should stop saying that, man, because I feel like it's come back to bite me in the you know what. As you can see, I'm not in a truck right now, and I'm also not at home because, as the title of this video states, I'm broke down or in a breakdown situation. Now, before I get this video started, I recently was at the FlowTrans corporate office, new office in Auburndale, Florida, and I recorded a video. So if you guys want to go watch that, I'm gonna put it right there, somewhere right here. You can click on it, I think, or I'll put the link in the comment section or in the description box so you guys can see what the office is like. Mr. Victor, the president of FlowTrans, did a little tour of the new office, and I also went out to the truck yard and shot, some video with the little drone that I got so that you guys could see what the office is like and what the truck yard is like, so you guys can know what to expect if you're coming over here. And again, if you want to use me as a referral, please use me as a referral. Let them know the trucking vato, aka Santiago, sent you to FlowTrans. And if not, that's cool. But yeah, so let's get this video started. So about 2 weekends ago, I had woken up in Farina, Illinois, after delivering a load of huevos, eggs, out in Farina, Illinois, as I said. I woke up the next morning and I had asked, well, I sent a message out to dispatch to the tablet and I had asked for a load to the West Coast if possible. Because I haven't been out west with this company since I started. The furthest west I've gone has been to Spanish Fork, Utah, which is over there by Salt Lake City. And I ran that back in maybe it was like July, August, or something like that. So that was a long time ago. Like last year, back when I still had the white Mac Anthem. So I had asked for this load that morning, and Mr. Tony Ashley responded to me and said, okay, send it when you're away. Sent me the tank wash information and the pickup time and all that stuff. So I drive over to get my tank washed that same day. And I didn't need to pick up the load till the next evening. And while I was getting my tank washed, there was a change in the load. Apparently, it changed to midnight of the next night. And so Mr. Tony Ashley said that, hey, I got another load for you. Go to Alexandria, Minnesota, and you'll be picking up over there. So that same night, I still had a couple hours left on my clock. So I just, drove through the night and made it into Wisconsin. I almost crossed, over into Minnesota on I-94 that night, but I was short on hours, so I didn't make it there. But it was all good, I still had time, and he, just simply asked me for my ETA, and I gave it to him the next morning and whatnot. Everything was going good, man. It started snowing that day. I remember I got loaded like maybe 4 or 5 in the evening. I got loaded, and I started rolling down to 90. And then I shut down that night. The next morning I woke up. There was still, snow, light snow, snowflakes or whatever falling. But everything was cool. So I decided to go, the next morning I decided to start rolling. I got to Omaha and I decided to take 90. I decided to take 80 across, to the West Coast, because I was going to be delivering to Modesto, California. Sorry if I haven't said that yet. So I was going to be delivering to Modesto, California, so I decided to take 80 West out there by Omaha. So I'm driving, I'm doing my thing, I'm running. I had called Julio, if I remember. Shout outs to you, Julio, if you're watching, bro, because you saved my butt that that day. Long story short, and Mr. Ralph too. Hey, shout outs to you if you're watching. But yeah, Julio, I'm driving down 80, and Julio reminds me, hey man, there's gonna be snow out there, and there's chain laws and this and that. Like, I'm not sure if you're aware of that or whatever, bro. And like, I haven't been out west, so chain laws was so far in the back of my mind, man. So once I heard that, man, I had to shoot down to towards Denver and head down to you know Albuquerque to get on 40. And that's what I did. So I got out to Albuquerque, shut down that night. I had barely an hour left on my clock. The next morning, I got up like at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Decided to hit it and try to make this, cover as many miles as I could. Well, I didn't get far from outside of Albuquerque. I think I made it maybe like 20 or 30 miles outside, and my transmission started throwing an error code on the dash of the Peterbilt. It was stopped upshifting. So I called breakdown, and they came out, or they sent somebody out. And they sent somebody out. Dude comes out. He tells me, "Oh, it's the actuator and the transmission. This is not something I can fix on the side of the road. You're gonna need to take this to, you know, somebody that knows what they're doing. We can't do this on the side of the road." So, I managed to limp over to the Route 66 casino out there on 40 outside of Albuquerque. I stayed there for Saturday, Sunday. Monday morning, I wake up, call breakdown again. They asked me if I can limp over. I decide, you know what? I'll take the chance. I'll limp over to the Peterbilt shop out there in Albuquerque. And how about this? I managed to make it on I-40, and right as I got off the exit, and I was about to make a right turn at that red light to get on the actual street where the Peterbilt shop was at, the transmission decides to downshift and it wouldn't upshift. So I was in second gear trying to make a right turn, and the surge of the tank pulling me back. So, bro, man, it just scared the crap out of me because I thought I was gonna stall out or something. What I'm saying? Like, just rookie type of feeling. And luckily, I ended up creeping up there. What should have been like a 5 minute drive ended up being like a 15-20 minute drive because it wouldn't upshift any more than second gear. So I get there. They tell me, oh, this is gonna, once I actually get the truck, and the trailer unhooked, they put the truck in the shop, and they tell me, oh, this is gonna be something that's gonna take at least a week. It's not gonna be a 1 or 2 day type of thing. It's gonna at least take a week to get it done. So I had asked, Mr. Tony that, hey, this is just an idea I'm throwing out because I really want to work. Because I had just come back from home time. That, hey, I really want to work. If you could get me into another truck or something so I can keep rolling, because I don't want to sit in a hotel room for a week, right? I get it, there's breakdown pay and all that, but man, I really want to run because, oh man, you get so bored sitting in a hotel room. So long story short, yeah, so Mr. Tony Ashley, he got me another truck in Houston. We got a rental car and unpacked my stuff from that truck, and I left to Houston to pick up a truck out there. So I pick up that truck, and then the next morning, I get up and I called my new dispatcher, Mr. Martin, up because the number of my truck had changed, obviously, to an odd number. And I asked him that, hey, I'm ready to roll. Can you, get me rolling? Give me a load, please, por favor. And he got me a load from McAllen to Maryland, but something ended up happening. Another driver had gotten in an accident. Another driver got into an accident. A four-wheeler ended up hitting her truck. So I ended up having to go pick up that load from her on the side of I-20. And that load was coming to Vero Beach, Florida. So that was bringing me home for Easter because I live in Central Florida. And oh, by the way, that was a very nice load for me because when I used to do drive-in for Davis Transfer, I used to run the Southeast a lot. So, I used to take either I-10 or I-20 depending on, depending on where in Texas I was going to, from Florida or from Georgia. So it brought it was very nostalgic running I-20 again, because here at FlowTrans, man, I'm gonna be honest and transparent with you guys. I have not ran the southern lanes much, or if any at all, except when I'm leaving or going for home time. So it was really nice to run to Texas and take this load to Florida. So anyways, I get home, I drop the truck off at that Love's in Lake Wales, because I was going to be picking up the following Monday. Well, I needed to get a tank wash there at that Florida Food Tankers in Lake Wales, and I was going to get loaded on Monday at that place in Lake Wales. I forgot what it was called. So I dropped my truck there, on Saturday afternoon. So I go home for Easter, hanging out with the family and whatnot, eat some good food. Come back Monday ready. I came back to work. I came back on Sunday night, actually. Dropped the tank off. They washed it overnight. Woke up the next morning, went to Citrosuco. Oh, that's what it's called, Citrosuco, out there in Lake Wales, and got loaded. I was there for it was a long line too, so I was there almost to like 2 or 3 in the afternoon or evening. And then once I was loaded, man, I headed up, delivered up here to Hopkins, Minnesota. Now I got a check engine light on this truck that I had picked up from Houston, and also safety had called me to tell me that I didn't have hood mirrors on this truck as well, and they never did have hood mirrors when I picked the truck up. So they said that I should get with Breakdown and try to arrange to get those hood mirrors installed. And I figured, why don't I just kill two birds with one stone? I'll get the hood mirrors installed, and I'll get this check engine light situation checked out by stopping at this Peterbilt out here, somewhere out here in Minneapolis or something, when I'm either going or coming back. So while I was on my way to deliver in Hopkins, I got a phone call that I had a pre-plan ready to go. So I figured, we'll do it on our way back, because I had plenty of time, between the loads or whatever. So I went and picked up over there in Long Prairie, Minnesota, and I was going to take the load over to Huntington, Indiana. So I figured, I'm going to be on I-94, and, I've seen this Peterbilt out here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, so I'll stop there. Breakdown tells me that it was supposed to be a simple, clearing the engine light, because they had already resolved the issue that was causing the engine light. The previous driver had resolved it, supposedly, and they just needed to have the engine light cleared. So I went there, and I got there like at 7 in the morning or something like that, maybe 7:30, who knows. I got there, I spent the whole day there, and I never bothered to go ask them, hey, what's taking so long? Because by 7 p.m., 8 p.m., I go there and they start telling me, oh, the computers were down, we're backed up or something like that. But we're going to try to get this, fixed tonight, because they closed down at midnight. I was getting irritated, because I had spent all day there. And it wasn't until I had gone to go ask what was the situation on the truck, what was taking so long, because hood mirrors, I thought, they had them in stock, but it turns out they didn't have them in stock, and they had to order them. And the check engine light, they said that they were having computer issues with their computer, so they said that once they got that up and running, they would get me out. Because by then I had told them that, just forget about the hood mirrors, I'll get that taken care of at another dealership. Well, at like 10 or something like that, they decided to tell me, oh, the DPF on this truck is what's causing the check engine light to come on. So yeah, you're not going to be able to drive this, because this is going to be a potential fire issue. So, I called dispatch at that time to try to get a hotel room set up for me. And, it being that late at night, I never got a response. So I ended up, paying for my hotel room. Yeah, Friday night, because this was a Friday night. And I paid for the hotel room, and I kind of got a little irritated, trucking, man, this has nothing to do with the company per se, right? But it just kind of got irritated, because I was like, man, like, those guys wouldn't have said anything if I never went to go ask them, check up on what's going on, because by now I was the last dude sitting around in the driver's lounge. So I got irritated. I get to the hotel room, I didn't get a phone call back from the company, so I just went ahead and paid, because I was like, it's too late at night, This is a smaller company, so I can't expect mega carrier treatment. And that's something I'm gonna tell you guys right here, right now. Like, if you're expecting mega carrier treatment, get that out of your head, I guess, because because this is not that big of a company. All right. So I went ahead and paid for it. The next morning, I reached out to Rebecca. She reached out to Tony. I sent an email out as well too that, hey, I'm gonna be here for the weekend. I need somebody to set up a hotel room for me. I already paid this night's hotel stay or whatever, but I'm not gonna pay for the whole weekend, and potentially nobody paid me back. So I need somebody to cover this for me. And Mr. Tony got right back to me. Miss Rebecca responded, told me, hey, I talked to him, he's seen it. Check your emails. And yeah, they got it covered, man. So that is something I will say, that during this whole time of breakdowns, even that time when in Houston, they paid for my miles in that rental car to get from New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico to Houston, in that rental car. Everything was reimbursed. The hotel stays, my fuel, the whole fueling up the rental car, the staying in a hotel. They reimbursed that. And now as well too that I'm broke down, they got me in the hotel room. So so far, the way they treat their drivers, in my opinion, I like it. I can appreciate it. At least um, I'm broke down, and they're taking care of me. So it makes me feel a little good about the company, and it makes me feel like content. Right now, I say content because making me feel excited would be like never having an issue on the road, but that's impossible, right? We're as truck drivers, I've realized crap is as truck drivers, I've realized stuff is gonna happen on the road. You're gonna be broke down, and that's just an unavoidable aspect of this career, lifestyle, job, whatever you want to call it. And I guess I'm just making this video, man, more so to rant and to vent, because these last 2-3 weeks, man, just haven't been it for me, man. I broke down in that Peterbilt, and I did make a little video of that Peterbilt. I'll also put it right here somewhere, and or I'll put a link in the description. Now, they're not getting any more Peterbilts this year, so if you're expecting a Peterbilt and you're coming over to the company right now, you might get an older one, but you're not gonna get a new one. Just FYI. And like I said, man, I'm just ranting and raving with this video. It's not really anything to. I don't got much to tell you guys. I'm just trying to vent, man, because it's just been a weird. It's just been a weird last few weeks for me, man. In breakdown, it's like if it's not one thing, it's the other. And don't get me wrong, the company, pays you, your whole breakdown and whatnot. They reimbursed me and all this and that. And they've treated me good, and they haven't made me feel neglected per se. But that's just something you guys, I wanted to let you guys know. And again, if you're thinking about coming to FlowTrans and the food grade tanker, it's a good company to drive for, man. Now, obviously, with this experience, it's just part of the game when it comes to trucking. It is what it is. So, thanks for watching. And I hope my next video isn't so, I guess, negative per se. Because I said that I was going to avoid making negative videos. I want to be more positive and just joking around. Like we're kicking it with the homies and whatnot, man, But this video, man, it's just more of just me venting and ranting and just bored out of my mind sitting in this hotel room. Thanks for watching. And y'all stay safe out there. See you guys next video.